I can try if you let me. Without lies, I am bleeding. Who am I without stories that aren't mine? What I did to achieve you gave me air, thought I had to. I'm untrue, it's not pretty, the truth hurts. And you stayed on the ground while I was high. Yes, you've been here before, you closed the door. Now I don't know what to say, I expect you to leave. I deserve to be unheard, but I want you to see that you are the reason why I try. I don't know what you're thinking, but I know how you're feeling. I have crushed and burned someone before, and now I'm afraid of the person I'm pretending to be. But I'm more afraid to tell you I'm less than you see. And I know when I let go right now, I'm gonna turn you against me. 'Cause baby, you stayed on the ground while I was high. Yes, you've been here before, you closed the door. Now I don't know what to say, I expect you to leave. I
you wanna do, I'll do anything. As long as I can be here with you, everything's when I shut the door. You don't have to wake up yet. We can spend another day. I'll put the TV in the room. We'll have a Netflix marathon, Kenny G saxophone. We'll order in a bunch of food. Put your favorite music on all the way baritone. Shut the lights, go. Spend the day. You don't have to do one single thing. You don't know how much I want you. Just looking at you makes my whole world spin. You don't have to wake up yet. We can spend all day. We'll order in a bunch of food. Put your favorite music on all the way baritone. Shut the lights, go